Hello and welcome to the Quiver channel. I am Jason, your host. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I don't know what kind of day it's going to be today. It might be too hot. I don't know. But we'll find out later. I am just, how can I put it? Mellow. Kind of mellow this morning. A bit exhausted. Took a lot of energy to do my normal stuff this morning because I went on a Quingo explore yesterday and that wore me out a bit. But my blood pressure's going in the right direction. In fact, let's take a not too accurate version because it's always going to be higher when I do it while on here talking to you, because I'm supposed to read like you're supposed when you the proper way to take blood pressure. First of all, always make sure that the thing you're coming out with goes downwards. You're supposed to put it up above your elbow. Put it in place. Rest your arm at about the same level as your heart or near as well. And just relax. You're supposed to do it 3 times and take an average because you want to find out where it stops going down, because the thing is, first time you do it is going to be higher than the second and third usually. So doctors like to see, is it because you're not relaxed? Is it because you're nervous of having your blood pressure taken, which a lot of people are. You're in a doctor's office or wherever, so it can be a very stressful thing to be sitting there with them, and they're not the most comfortable things to do. They're horrible. They feel like they're squeezing your arm off. But let's see, what am I at the moment? 140/87 with a pulse of 66. That's actually really good because, like I say, I'm not doing it in the optimum way. That'll probably go down to around 132, 136, and the bottom one will go down to about 85 if I was just relaxed here and doing it 3 times. Well, that's enough of a reading for me to know the medication is working. The new food I'm eating is working, and later this week I will be going for a couple of blood tests because they want to check my heart rate to see whether there's been any damage to my heart, and they want to check my do a full blood work to see whether all the numbers are going in the right direction. This can only be good. This is all very good for me. One of the traps that autistic and people with ADHD go into is really bad eating. Eating becomes a coping strategy, and that can mean eating too much or not enough. It's very hard for someone like that to balance things. Even when you've got something like GERD, which will mean that you've got to minimize certain foods, you will binge eat, you will eat entire pizzas, you will do things because it makes you feel better for a little bit. It releases those nice little chemicals in your brain. And so it's easy to go down a path like that, especially when you've got a factual justification for eating more than normally. So I haven't had a takeout since this begun, which is saving money, which is good. Takeouts were becoming way too expensive anyway. But I was used, of course, as a coping. If I had a really bad day and I didn't want to cook anything, I would just order takeout. I can't do that now because I am literally in a position now where if I went out and bought a cake or a box of gummy bears or anything like that, I could really fuck my body up. I could cause myself to go blind. I could cause a couple of complications which would cause my feet to fall off. It really brings it down to you and really puts things in perspective when the diabetic nurse runs tests on your toes and that to make sure you can still feel, to make sure that you haven't developed neuropathy due to diabetes and that. It sort of brings it down to you that, oh shit, this could be a bad thing. Of course, I already knew this because Paola had diabetes and that. And I'm not one to shy away from all of that. So it's been a wonderful motivator to realign my food intake, but at the same time, I've also got to balance that because I lose weight quite quickly, and I've got to balance it because I've got to make sure I'm ticking all of the boxes. For me, 5 a day vegetable stuff and that isn't it's good for your health. It's your body isn't absorbing as much, so you've got to fucking do this. So it's been another motivational thing. On the negative side, it means I've lost an entire set of coping strategies that were to do with food. I'm just wondering to myself, can a diabetic person have those sugar-free gummy bears? You know, the ones that give you diarrhea. Probably. I'd have to find out and do research on that. But at the moment, I'm not missing anything like that, really. I'm probably missing savoury stuff more. But I'm sort of... My favourite snack at the moment, my favourite snack meal is a tin of garden peas. And garden peas are only like 34 calories. No, 90 calories for an entire can of garden peas. Non-salted variety, just in water. So a small can of those. Tablespoon of vegan mayonnaise. And I've just realised I'm eating vegetarian at the moment. Wow, didn't think that would ever happen. I've replaced my chicken and that with corn, and it seems to be going quite well. So I'm actually not eating any actual meat at the moment. I haven't done this because I don't like meat. I fucking love meat. I would love to have some bacon and stuff in, but it's both cost and health. So my favourite snack is these little thins of seaweed, which are really nice tasting actually, far better than crisps. And I just turn them into like mini, like not sushi, but basically mix up tuna, garden peas, and a little bit of mayo with a little bit of vinegar to cut through, and just mix them up, and then have a little spoonful on a thing and sit there. That's my snack for when I'm watching TV. Completely healthy for me. Completely doesn't raise my blood sugar in any way, and it fulfills the I like to snack when I'm watching a movie thing. That was a struggle to find something like that, so I'm happy with that. Although I need to get in more tuna. I've gone through my entire stores of tuna in the last month. I always kept tuna in because it was good. You could tuna, beans, and pasta. At the stable of a lot of students in the 90s and the or tuna, beans, or tuna, chopped tomato, and ramen, other things like that. And now it's like, oops. I did try having chopped tomatoes, but chopped tomatoes seem to do affect my GERD. So, and if I'm going to use, I'm going to have to use a very small amount in meals, or have them in a meal earlier in the day. I don't know. I'm working on all these things and everything seems to be okay. Money wise, I am just rebalancing everything, and it feel like I'm the boy in front of a dam sticking his finger into the dam to stop the water, and then another hole comes somewhere else, and I'm having to rebalance my entire budgetary system to be able to handle all this. So that limits another coping strategy, because one of the coping strategies I used to have was I could treat myself to a computer game, I could treat myself to a subscription service. Those have gone out the window as well now. It's like, nope, you're not allowed. Nope, that's a no. But apart from that, as I said, this isn't a downer message. This is like, I've had to change lots of things, and some of them are a real challenge. I just remembered these. Some of them are a real challenge, but it's all a positive in the long term. I'm eating better, my body's feeling better, my blood pressure's going down. Hopefully the blood tests and that will show that my body, the rest of the results from my body have come back into normal, that the damage to my kidneys and my liver have reversed and all that, because that would make things so much better. And yeah. So now I'm going to turn the main computer on. I don't know how long I'll stay in the bedroom, well, the streaming room, because the sun is beating against the window, but there is a nice cool breeze. It's not like it was earlier in the last week with the heat wave, so I might be able to stay in here. I was going to go out on the Quingo again today, but yesterday wore me out so much, and I've got to go to the doctor's on a mobility scooter during the week as well. So this week's going to be quite a wear me out type thing. So take care of yourself, and bye bye for now.